So the other movie I went and saw was Blackkklansman. That was a weird title, I have to say. Go up to the ticket counter and say, "One for Blackkklansman." Didn't say that enthusiastically, but it's still a weird fucking title. Like, hell, I even told somebody, it's like, I was telling them, they were asking me what movies I've seen lately. It's, Blackkklansman. They looked at me like I was a fucking devil saying that. Like, hold on. It's a Spike Lee movie. Like, he's a black director. It's not about really, like, not a movie supporting the Klan. I didn't explain that. Like, I know why, but it's like, it's a weird fucking, like, it's a weird fucking title to be having to say that out loud. But anyways, I just wanted to say that real quick. But this was a movie that I have been looking forward to. Even though I said this in the past, talking about, like, when I got trailers for this movie, I have never been the biggest Spike Lee fan. As a person, I have never been a fan of his. But as a filmmaker, I am a fan of his. He is a really good filmmaker. And although it's been a long time since I think he's made a really good movie, it was like, it's about due time for him. Like I said, there's a lot of fucking filmmakers out there that I think are just terrible human beings, but I like their films. I'm like, fuck it. Like, David Russell is probably my favorite example. Even fucking actors like Tom Cruise and Mel Gibson and shit like that. I was like, I enjoy their fucking movies. I know personally they're fucking dicks in real life, but it's just like, Spike Lee for me is just like the self-righteous asshole who's just. You look it up online. You can hear stories about how much of an asshole he is. And I was like, but he is a good filmmaker. And I was like, when was the last Spike Lee movie I've seen in theaters? I'm like, I had to think back, and I'm like, I think it was Inside Man, and that was 2006. And that's not because, like, oh, I'm racist or anything. It's just, I think my theater really never gets any of his movies. I don't know why, but, usually I just don't, if I don't see it in the theater, then I just really don't usually go see a movie, go out of my way to see a movie if it's not coming to my theater. So I was really looking forward to this movie because it looked like it was going to be interesting. Just the story behind it, like, sounded interesting. And like I said, it looked like it was going to be a pretty good movie. Like, and the reviews for this movie have been phenomenal. Like, up there, one of the best reviewed films of the year. Like, it's already being called one of the best films of the year. And, like, the reason why it took me a week to get or to do a review for this movie and see this movie was because my theater decided. Like originally last week, they put it on their listing for movies that was coming out, and then just removed it for fucking no reason, and then decided to put it back on for this weekend instead. I'm like, what the fuck was the point of that? I don't know. Last time they did something like that was like for fucking Disaster Artist, and we never got it. They like had it up there for listings and stuff, but then fucking removed it like halfway for the week. So I was glad we were finally getting this. And yeah, this movie, Jesus Christ, this is one of the best fucking movies I've seen all year. Easily. Fucking easily. Between this and like Mission Impossible, like over the last 3 weeks, last 2 weeks, I said these Mission Impossible and this are like two of the biggest candidates for best film of the year I've seen as of late. Of the movies I've seen as of late. God damn, this was a good movie. This is a movie it's simultaneously really funny, but it's also really, it doesn't, lose focus on the fact that it's about a very tough subject matter when it's talking about the Klan and their hate that they spread, and they hate, they're a fucking terrorist group. You can fucking tell me otherwise, but I don't fucking believe you. But as far as performances go, the main guy in this movie, I'm gonna look his name up so I can call him by name. So let me look. He's an actor I've never seen. I can't remember ever seeing him in anything, but he's really fucking good in this thing. John David Washington. There we go. He plays Ron Stallworth, who is this black cop who is the first black cop in Colorado Springs who sees an ad in a newspaper for to become a member of the Ku Klux Klan, and he tricks the Ku Klux Klan over the phone by making them think he's a white guy, even though they claim they know the difference between a white man's voice and a black man's voice. They are easily tricked. Even fucking David Duke, who he talks to numerous times in this movie. And I just love the swagger of this character. He's fucking hilarious. Like he's a cocky guy, but I would be so cocky too. Like he's a character that you kind of reminds you of something you would see in a blaxploitation film, which this movie is, in all rights, a tribute to old school blaxploitation films. You don't know what they are. There's the Pam Grier movies from the 70s and Superfly, Shaft, stuff like that. And this is like in the same vein. This is like a tribute and love letter to those films. And this is a character that seems like it would come out of like a movie like that. And he's a great fucking character. He's a likable guy. And he is you see a lot of the conflicts this guy is going through, because he is a black guy who is all for equality for the black race and all that stuff like that. He even has a girlfriend in the movie who's a Black Panther that hates cops, a part of the Black Panther that hates cops. So he's kind of got a conflict going on and everything else like that, while he's also trying to take down the KKK and doing something that's really fucking dangerous. And then he also one of the best performances along with that performance was Adam Driver. Adam Driver, this is easily probably his best performance of his career so far. He is this guy who poses as Ron Stallworth, since he is white. You have to have Ron Stallworth had to have a fellow white cop pose as him, because obviously he's black and you can't go join the KKK without probably getting shot. So, and there's even a conflict, or there's even a danger. It's a dangerous situation for not just Ron Stallworth's character, but Adam Driver's character too, because he is Jewish, and of course the KKK are against the Jews. And I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody by using the word Jew, but I apologize. I'm just saying it. And he's Jewish, and so there's a real big risk he's taking trying to do this job, and posing as Ron Stallworth, and it's really fucking good. His performance is really good. There's some of the most intense scenes in this movie involve Adam Driver, because he is in the thick of things. There's a guy who, I don't know who this guy was, but he was fucking great, who is one of the members of the Ku Klux Klan, who's this just fucking psychopath who just wants to murder all black people. He's like what everybody, when you think of Ku Klux Klan members, he's what everybody thinks of, which I'm not saying that they're not all like that, but some of them are. I'll agree with that. Who just wants to murder every fucking black person in the world, and this guy's a fucking he even hates Jews and all that shit like that. I forget what that guy's name was, but he was really fucking terrifying in this movie. Like the scenes of him and Adam Driver, where he's interrogating him and wanting to put him into a lie detector test to see if he is Jewish because he doesn't believe everything that Adam Driver's telling him. And it's really fucking good. Like, god damn, it's some really intense scenes. Like this movie's funny, and it is. It's like, but it is intense as shit during a lot of parts of it. Like, I also, it's funny as hell seeing fucking Topher Grace playing David Duke. He does a good job. Like, it's really fucking funny seeing like Topher Grace in this fucking movie. It's like, what the hell? No, that was not even the biggest what the hell moment I've ever had while watching this movie. The opening scene of this movie made me go, what the fuck? Because the opening scene of this movie is them playing like a scene from Gone with the Wind, and then it pans out and it shows Alec Baldwin playing some scientist who is using every fucking racial slur you can fucking think of. He's like the scientist who's telling us why blacks are different than whites and stuff like that. And I'm like, it is so alarming seeing Alec Baldwin fucking doing this, but also at the same time, like, because he's such a dick, you're like, I could believe that this is just him speaking off the cuff. I was like, god damn, that was one of the weirdest parts of this whole movie. That was one of the weirdest parts of this whole movie. Was that opening, because, like, he's never seen it again. It's a random cameo by Alec Baldwin, and it's like, who was that? I was like, it doesn't really explain who that was, and then I looked it up, and they're like, he's not representing anybody who was a historical figure or anything. He's just some made-up character. Like, so what the fuck was the point of that? What was the point of that scene? I did not know. But that was a weird start of the movie, but, yeah, that movie, like, I fucking, this movie's really fucking funny. Like, it is funny in a lot of parts, particularly the conclusion to what happens at the end of this movie, particularly the last phone call that, Ron Stallworth has with David Duke is fucking hilarious. And at one point, getting the spoilers a little bit, David Duke, comes to Colorado Springs, and the police chief makes Ron Stallworth his head of security detail, and so while he's at a KKK rally, and it results in one of my favorite fucking scenes of this movie. Like what this guy had the balls to do during this fucking KKK rally is fucking awesome. I won't spoil it, but it's one of the funniest fucking scenes. It results in it's one of those, like, I hope there's a picture that's taken that's so fucking funny, and I hope somewhere that is a real fucking picture, because I hope it is, because if it is, that'd be fucking hilarious. I want to see it. Like, I really do. Like, it is easily the best scene in the whole fucking movie. It is so fucking funny. This movie, if there's anything I can complain about, this is a movie that you'll know if you'll like it going in, because if you have strong beliefs about that there's something like there's not any racism in the world or anything like that, or supporter of like Trump or anything like that, you're not gonna like this movie, because this movie is pretty heavy-handed and right on the fucking nose about what Spike Lee thinks about Donald Trump, because there's this whole thing about, like, this movie, like, I gotta give it, like, I'm fine with that, because, like, I knew going in, like, Spike Lee has openly stated that he hopes this movie causes Donald Trump to become a one-term president. Now, no movie has really ever fucking affected an election that much. So I, like, good luck on that. But there is parts of this movie where he's like, there's one part of this movie that was like, really? I was like, that was just so fucking heavy-handed and right on the nose. Like, he says, they're talking about David Duke wanting to run for office, which was true back in the day. And he is like, well, America would not be that stupid to elect a guy who's like this racist and everything else like that. And there's this long pause, this music cue, and I'm like, I get it. Like, with an anti-immigration stance and all this shit, anti-racist stance and stuff. Like, I get it. And there's multiple times when the Ku Klux Klan are talking about about making America great, and I'm like, all right, I get it, movie. Don't have to fucking spell it out for me. I get it, but it's not like it doesn't hammer you over the head. But there are a couple scenes that are like, oh Jesus Christ, that made me go but I will say this, that ending to this movie, because somebody told me before I saw it that like they were in a packed theater seeing this movie, which it wasn't a packed theater when I saw this, but there was a few people in there, and my buddy told me, he's like, there was a crowd that really was loving this movie and like having a good time and clapping and everything else like that, but when the ending happened in this movie, they were dead fucking silent. And I was like, wow, how does this movie fucking end? Like, I was even reading some place say like how hard the ending is. I'm like, what the fuck happens at the end of this movie? And I won't get into spoilers. It's nothing like, it ends on like a happy note at first, but then it kind of shows it's a movie that ends on footage of current events and showing that really nothing has fucking changed in America. The more, we think stuff has changed, really they just stayed the same. And man, it's like, that was some really rough footage to watch. Like, it's footage you've seen before. Spoiler alert, involves Charlottesville mainly. Because this movie was released on the 1-year anniversary of Charlottesville rally, and like, it's fitting because it's talking about the Ku Klux Klan and basically skinheads and fascists and shit like that, Nazis, and they were fucking protesting in Charlottesville, and they show footage of like David Duke supporting people like Trump and stuff like that, and I'm like, yeah, it is alarming. It is really fucking alarming. Like, no matter what you want to say about Trump, I know people say, no, he's not a racist and shit like that. Dude, when David Duke is defending you and supporting you, that's a little hard to fucking defend. And he hasn't, renounced his, him, endorsing him. And that's fucked up, man. Like, David Duke's an asshole. Like, he is a fucking asshole. And Ku Klux Klan they make me ashamed to be fucking white. Like, that is just, fuck that. I also want to talk about the movie theater experience real quick. I was in a theater, no shock, this is not racist, but I was in a theater full of black people. I think there was a couple other white guys in the theater, but it was predominantly black people. And they were talking a lot for this movie. I mean, a lot. It wasn't just like, oh, there was just there was numerous of and it's like, yeah, it's one that's like, I want to tell them shut the fuck up but also at the same time, I'm not chancing it. I know that sounds horrible, but I'm like, I am not chancing it. This is a movie that's it's about a pretty touchy subject already. Maybe I'll just save the shut the fuck. It didn't really bother me because it didn't take me out of the movie because I was really into the movie, even while people were fucking talking, not even trying to be fucking quiet sometimes. It's like, really? It doesn't matter what race, it doesn't even, I've known a lot of there's a lot more kids my age or my race that fucking are more annoying than anybody in a movie theater. They'll just sit there and talk and be on their fucking phone. It's not it's not a race thing at all. It's just why do people fucking have to insistently talk in a fucking theater? They have fucking Crazy Rich Asians. I forget who was somebody fucking started clapping for no fucking reason. There was nothing to clap about. I thought there would be clapping in this movie, but not really. Especially after that fucking ending. It was like such a downer. And it was like, huh. Man, but yeah, I fucking recommend this movie. Go check this out. Like, go see this movie. It's a full endorsement from me for this one. I really fucking loved it. It's easily going to be on my top 10 list. It's got to be one of the top contenders. If this does not get nominated for Best Picture, that's some horse shit. That is some pure, unadulterated bullshit. If it doesn't get fucking nominated for Best Picture or even gets considered for Best Picture, man, fuck. Like, I wouldn't be shocked at this point if it doesn't, because they didn't even, like, they nominated Get Out, but really didn't fucking even put that in consideration at all. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll at least get a nomination, I guess. I mean, hell, we don't know what else will come out later this year. Like, what other films, there might be something else that will fucking blow this out of the water. Who knows? But this has got to be one of the early favorites for fucking Best Picture, I would think. But yeah, trailers. I only got one new trailer, and it's the new Jonah Hill movie. Jonah Hill's directing a fucking movie, which was like, huh, all right. He's directing a movie called Mid-90s, and it's a movie about a teenage kid growing up, and he's a skateboarder, and it's like, oh yeah, it was a trailer I got. It was a restricted trailer, so it was like, fuck this, fuck that, and like a bunch of F-bombs like thrown throughout the whole fucking trailer. That was the reason why it was restricted. It is like, I don't know. It's a Jonah Hill movie, like his first time directing a movie. That's interesting. I like Jonah Hill, so maybe it'll be good. I don't know. Yeah, that's as far as trailers go. Go see Blackkklansman. Go see Alpha too. Yeah, definitely. But I'm about to start my new job tomorrow, so I can't tell you when for sure my next review for next week's movies are. Like I said, I'm going to be going to see only like certified fresh movies from this point forward again. I know Searching's getting good reviews, so I really want to see that. I actually do really want to see that. So I will probably have a review for that sometime next week. I can't guarantee you when. I'm working afternoon turns. It's going to be really hard for me to fit a movie in before work or after work at all. Like I said, I work like till midnight. So, yeah, so I don't know when I'm going to have another review, but I'll have some time soon. Until then, I'll talk to you guys.